really important question with coaching is it working, and what impact is it having on students? And I think that's an important question to ask, and I think you have to assess it effectively. So I'd like to say just a few things about this. You can read a lot more about this in the book, Evaluating Instructional Coaching. But the core element of the idea is this, is that you need to draw a direct line between what coaches do and what outcomes you see. And so the first part of that is you need to make sure you're really clear on what coaches do. We would say the coach should be implementing all 7 success factors described in the Definitive Guide to Instructional Coaching. They should work from the partnership principles. They should be good listeners and questioners. They should lead themselves effectively. They should balance ambition with humility. And then maybe most importantly, they should be doing the impact cycle. And that means they know how to gather data to set goals and monitor progress. And that means they have a playbook, a set of teaching practices that know really deeply, really well to help people hit those goals. And then they work in a setting where they actually have time to coach. So the first thing to say is, what are our coaches actually doing? You might even have them document the time they use, but the first part is, are our coaches actually following the impact cycle? If the coaches are doing this thing and that thing, and they're kind of at the whim of whoever it is they report to, and they have to do all kinds of stuff that keep them from coaching, and they're lucky to do 1 cycle every semester, you shouldn't be expecting a big change in what happens with students. But if the coach is spending 70 or 80% of their time on coaching, and they're doing the impact cycle, and they're identifying goals, peers' goals, then you can say, well, what's the difference? And the difference is what happens when peers' goals are set and hit. And so peers' goals are measurable outcomes that relate to student well-being or student achievement. When we talk about engagement, it's a way of looking at well-being. Are they behaviorally engaged, cognitively engaged, emotionally engaged? Emotionally engaged means they feel safe in school. They feel like they belong. They have hope. They have positive experiences. And there are ways of gathering that data related to all those peers' goals. If it's achievement, you might be using checks for understanding, or you might be using rubrics or other kinds of assessments. So it's a measurable outcome. And to look at the impact of coaches, I think what you want to look at is what peers' goals were set, what peers' goals were hit, and how many peers' goals were set, and how many peers' goals were hit. So there's a very clear line between what the coach does and what the outcome is. And then when you report back to the board or whomever it is about what coaching is, you can document, here are the number of goals that were set, here are the goals that were hit, this is what engagement was before coaching, this is engagement after coaching. Well, of course, we want our achievement scores to go up, we want our external standards of effectiveness to go up, but the trouble with that is, if the scores go up, it could be because this just happens to be a especially good group. Or maybe we have a new principal and she's really doing great things to move the school forward, or maybe new teachers. Maybe the weather's nice. I mean, you don't know what all the impacts are on the achievement scores, whether they go up or go down. You can't be sure that it's coaching that made the difference. But if you're really clear on what coaches do, and you're really clear on the goals they set, all the goals they set, you document every single one, and you capture evidence to show that they've changed, and then you can say, this is what coaching was about, this is the goals they set, here are the outcomes they have, this is the impact coaching has. The only thing that's missing from this is only about 1 year, and the impact of a coach transcends a year, because when a coach works with a teacher, it's every other student they teach. And so when you share the data, you have to say, this teacher was having engagement here, or these kids felt this safe in this classroom, but now moving ahead in the future, this is what it's going to look like because of this goal that's been set. So to sum up, most important thing, if you want to measure impact, is what are the coaches doing? What's the direct line to the outcome? And that's the peers' goals. What are the peers' goals that have been set? How are they hit? And by peers' goals, I mean they're powerful, emotionally compelling, easy to hit, reachable, and student-focused. The student-focused goals measure the engagement or the achievement of students. And when you can document over a year, coaches working with teachers hitting emotional engagement, behavioral engagement, cognitive engagement, achievement scores, whether it's measured through rubrics or tests or checks for understanding, then you can say this is what coaching is, and this is what it does. And what it does is it transforms the quality of kids' experiences in school.